What's up, everybody? We are back again with another episode of Show Me What I've Been Missing. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Mack, and I'm here with our other lovely host,
Elizabeth Stanton.
Yes. And first of all, if you're watching this, happy Halloween. This happened this past weekend, so we gotta acknowledge that.
This
you dressed up and shit.
Air on November 1st, so hope you had a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Hope you go out, hope you get some candy, hope you had some sex. Hopefully you didn't get anybody pregnant. But unless you wanted to,
the scariest night of the year.
Unless you wanted to, then no judgment.
Speaking of Halloween, hi buddy.
You got a black cat going across the screen right now.
If you're
leaping across
the screen, if you're watching the video, which a lot of you seem to be. Our one from a couple weeks ago is at like over almost 400 views.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like at 360 something.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
I don't know what's the difference is between that and the other stuff we've posted, but it is
apparently it's
deeply appreciated.
Yeah, so, apparently it's a big difference. So maybe
we need to go back and pace.
Maybe you need to go back and watch that episode and see what we did.
I don't know if it's because we talked about kink. I don't know if it's because I put Marvel in the keywords, because we mentioned Marvel, and so I tend to put things we say, like, or celebrities we say in the keywords, just to
boost
that SEO. So maybe I'll just, for fun, let's do an experiment. I will just go ahead and put Marvel in the keywords this time, and let's just see what happens.
I'm looking at it right now. It's at 393.
Shut the fuck up.
393 is at it right now. And our episode last week is at 60 views, and our episode this week is at 28 so far in 2 days, which is actually pretty great.
That's pretty good for us.
For 2 days, that's pretty damn good. Usually we get like
we're a little
10
slower
to 12. So,
now that we've taken you through our analytics, maybe we should start talking about the episode.
Let's do it. So this episode is season 3, episode 5, entitled "No Ifs, Ands, or Buts."
Butts with two T's, because they're talking about actual butts.
Butts. Well, that and
sort of.
Oh,
and cigarette butts.
And cigarette butts, yeah. Which I didn't get that because I was like, there's not a lot of butts in this episode. They always mention really butts like twice.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
No, it's asses more than butts.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess, how do we even start? I guess we should just start with Charlotte's story, since she has like the least.
She has the least amount of story.
Of story. And she kind of starts off the episode, right? It's like literally we're opening up to her on her first date with some new guy. Shouts out to Charlotte. Always got somebody.
Always got a new man.
Always got a new man. I don't know how, because she might be the worst. But she's on a date with a guy who is a they say they actually were nice. She said he was a bad kisser. He is an atrocious kisser.
The worst thing I've ever seen
kisser.
In my life.
He literally was licking her face.
Yeah.
That's not bad kissing. That's atrocious kissing.
It's so weird.
Like, even in like a foreplay situation, like y'all about to have sex, that's unacceptable. There's no reason your tongue should be licking my entire face. Like, that's not, sorry. Like, unless I requested that, there's no reason that your tongue should be all over my mouth. Like, that's insane.
It's nasty.
Yeah. By the way, so they go to lunch later, and she's telling the girls about it, and they're basically saying dump his ass because he's a terrible kisser.
Yeah.
And she's like, no,
we can make it work.
Like, we can make it work. I'm gonna try. Kudos to her, because she does, when they go on the next day, she does try to like walk them through.
She's like, I like it when you do this.
I like it when you do that. So you know what? Clearly she's, Samantha's influence has been rubbing off on her, because if this was 2 seasons ago, she'd have been done. That'd have been cut off. There's no nothing. But like, she actually gave him a second chance, which he then fucked it up by kissing her even worse than before. Like, he just got overzealous.
Yeah, and then he gave her like a hickey on her chin. Which is insane.
I thought that was hilarious.
It's really funny.
Charlotte's face with that dumb bruise on her chin. Like,
and she tells him
for having a fucking what was that fucking party she had?
Not
borrowed or used date party.
That's used date party.
That's what happens. You get your chin sucked on and get a hickey in your chin when you have used date party.
She does tell him to his face, like, you're a bad kisser, and he goes, no, I'm not. That's my thing. Fucking guys, I swear to God.
First of all, well, here's my thing. This is what I want to know. Low key, that's kind of on girls too, because I'm assuming he's dated more than one girl.
Yeah.
And like they probably just ghosted him and left him and didn't tell him like what the fuck was wrong. That's kind of on y'all too, because sometimes y'all will like, I'm not saying it's on y'all to fix us. I'm not saying it's on y'all to fix us, but for the sake of each other, you should at least hit them with it like, look, this is why.
Yeah.
So maybe a guy can fix it. So the next girl doesn't have to get her face licked off. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just give him a hint. You know what I mean? You ain't got to like walk him through it or teach him. You know what I'm saying? At least if you're breaking up with him, at least let him know it's because he's a bad kisser and why he's a bad kisser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like that was just bad. Like he's a grown ass man. How has he gotten through life kissing women this way?
I have no idea.
Right. I mean, I'm assuming at some point some girl, I guess, was into it, but I mean, what,
that
1 in 10?
Crazy then.
I don't know. I feel like maybe it's like a woman that's like a furry or something like that. They're like playing into like the dog motif of being clean. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, like a dog or a cat thing.
Yeah, maybe it's like that's. I feel like that's the only people that would be into it. But I mean, I'm not kink shaming it. I'm not saying if you're into it, you're weird. I'm just saying
for us.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's no reason for somebody's entire tongue to be all over your face. It's just
no.
Especially not upon request. It's just not okay. But that was a typical guy. He's like, "Oh no, I'm good. I know what I'm good at." Like, no, you're wrong. It's like
you're wrong. Yeah,
no, bro. No, bro. You ate her face. You're wrong.
Literally.
If let me tell you something, if you leave a person with a bruise after you kissed him, you're doing it wrong. That's all I'm saying. That's
taking face sucking to a whole new level.
Yeah, take that as a rule of thumb. If you take away your face and you see a bruise there, you fucked up probably. Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
Cool. And then in ascending order, I guess we got Miranda and Steve.
Miranda and Steve.
So I thought they were living together, right?
Yes, they are living together.
Make it seem like they're not for a hot in their argument, or maybe it was just that he was mad about like her hesitation on moving.
I think that's what. Okay, so
we'll back up a sec. He wins the opportunity in a contest at Sam fucking Goody. Sign of the times. Sam hilarious. Goody. Shout out to Sam Goody.
Shout out to Sam Goody. So many albums bought there. Ridiculous like amount of albums bought there. Literally my whole CD collection as a kid came from Sam Goody. Facts.
I don't think there was one near me, so I didn't go. But
there was one in my hometown. It was at the only mall in my city. It was Town East Mall. If you're from Mesquite, shout out to Mesquite, Town East Mall. It's fucking dangerous now, but it used to be the spot to hang out with. Now, if you go there, you might get shot.
Like every mall is dangerous now because 90% of them are abandoned.
That's true.
Like in the movie Gone Girl, where it's like a homeless encampment, and yeah, it's crazy.
Honestly, like with businesses being like mostly online now, they should just like turn malls into like homeless encampments for people. You know what I mean? Like turn that whole like you. Like I mean, look at all that. Yeah, look at all that surface that they have of room. Like turn all those shopping. Yeah, turn all those the storefronts and shit like that. Turn that to like little apartments. Boom.
Yeah. No, the market decided otherwise.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you got all that in the parking lot too. Like, you can turn that into. I mean, literally, people are.
Don't you go bringing empathy and logic?
I know. I mean, you always talk about like people ain't got no room. It's like make some, bro. Like nobody's really going. I mean, people go to. I'm not saying people don't go to malls, but like.
But there's a huge number of abandoned malls, like legit, like they're ghost towns. It's really creepy and weird.
Right, and most people only go to malls. It's like just to get out of the house. But 9 out of 10, they're not really going there to shop because most people know their like when it comes to clothes and shit like that. Most people know their sizes, and even then, if it's like the wrong size is delivered to you, most these stores have an option to like send it back for an exchange.
Yeah,
it's really not that. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know.
But anyway, so he wins the contest to do a half court shot at a Knicks game at Madison Square Garden, and he wants to go practice and wants her to watch him practice, but she's kind of like, okay, and she's like, I don't know, it's a hard shot to make. I don't really think he'll make it.
She has no faith in him, which I understand his frustration there because, like, as a girlfriend,
pretty stone cold.
Yeah, like you're supposed to support, even if you think it's stupid. Like, just pretend, just show some support. Just be like, look, he can do it because, okay. Yes, is it a pipe dream? Yes, in a sense. But what if he fucking makes it?
Right? Aren't you gonna feel like a dumb bitch?
Right. Then he's gonna take his million and be like, go fuck yourself. You didn't believe in me. Like,
yeah.
At least be there for the million. What if it's a 50-50 chance that he makes it? That's pretty good odds. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like 60-40. It's 50-50. He might make it or might not. Y'all could be millionaires tomorrow, or you be in the same place now. I mean, you're not hurting, so obviously, Miranda doesn't really care about money like that in the sense of
that, and I think she's dismissive of it because she doesn't care if he's a millionaire or not, but it obviously means a lot to him, and because of some of that insecurity he has about not being as financially well off as she is, but so he's like all pumped.
To be fair though, I mean, yes, he is insecure about that, but like her behavior towards him in the sense of like not really supporting him doesn't help that insecurity at all, because it doesn't help anything that he does. She kind of dismisses because I think she low-key like views herself as a little bit better than him because he's a bartender and she's a lawyer. Yeah, and there's that. So like, not only is he feeling insecure, but she also shows signs that like she don't really respect him, him that much as far as like career choices. Yeah. So it's so he's, she says she'll go watch him though, like practice that next weekend, but then she gets like a work thing and he's super mad that she like is gonna blow it off. Yeah. And like unloads. It's like clearly not about the basketball. No, but I will say this, like he was right and wrong. He was right in the sense of like, yes, she's his girlfriend, she should support him. She did make a promise. However, she is working. It's not like she blew him off to like go eat lunch with the girls or some shit like that. Like she is working. So maybe take it down a little bit there, Red Rover. Like you're going to he went a little too hot. Yeah. At her, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, over something that's not so much her fault. And I think like I get a little of his frustration though. Is like I don't think he was expecting her to spend the whole day at the court watching him. Right. But I think like theoretically her taking a break to do it would be a possibility. Yes. Yeah. But no one's thinking rationally. He's not thinking rationally in that moment. He's just fucking mad, and you act stupid when you're mad. That's true. Yes, but and that's the thing too. Is like if she really cared, she could have been like, "Look, I'll come down for like 10-20 minutes, take a break." Like, because like honestly, if you're looking at paperwork and shit like that all day, your eyes get a little stressed. You would want to take a break anyway. So like, I understand she's one of those people that's really focused and she wants to get it done. But like, you're in a relationship now, you gotta kind of make a little bit of sacrifice. So if you sacrifice 20 minutes of your day to make him feel a little bit appreciated, save yourself a lot of headache. Yeah. And vice versa. Like, I mean, it seems like from what he was saying in his rant, it seems like he supports her and appreciates her and is like gone like all the law functions and things that she's made him go to. So, and he's not quite feeling that, which is understandable. You deserve to have the same, done for you. Absolutely. But it does make so hot. It does make me wonder though. So fun fact, this is the episode that introduces the Magnolia Bakery in New York. That was everyone suddenly wanted to go get cupcakes at because they happened to eat cupcakes in this episode outside of the Magnolia Bakery. Okay. I don't know, those better be the best fucking cupcakes ever in the world because there's always like huge lines for it. And I'm like, you just fucking make cupcakes. I bet it is. And I bet they're good. Yeah, I bet they're probably not as good as like waiting in line for like 2 hours for it. They're probably not that good. No. Although I did have a pastry, I had a few pastries yesterday at this shop called Elise over there by like UCA, that whole area. You know what I'm talking about, right? And like, I don't know that area that well, actually. Yeah. Either way, but it was some of the best pastries I ever had. It's like this little Italian pastry shop. It was, guys, go there. It's like ELYSEE. That's what it's called. I think it's called Elise. Okay. It's fantastic, by the way, just since we're talking about pastries. I'll also put those in a tag because if we can get sponsored by them, I would be very happy. Not to shout out a competitor, but it's in different locations. Susie Cakes here in Studio City. Oh, holy shit, those are good. Yes, hell yes. Oof. They're about as close, like cupcake and cake wise, as like what my grandma used to make. Yes. When I was a kid, because she used to make this really
kill her like chocolate cake for birthdays and stuff.
Nice.
And I haven't been able to like find the recipe online. I know it's from a cookbook, like it's not like a secret one she made up. It's like it's from like a Home and Garden, Better Homes and Gardens thing. So it is like you can recreate it somehow, but I'm just trying to, I can't find it. But the Susie cakes are as close really as I've gotten. And it does take a lot for me to go like, why can't you just fucking go buy some cupcakes there? What's fucking stopping you? That you're an adult? That's why you're an adult. You have all this money. You can just go do it.
Just go anytime you want. Yeah.
But anywho, so they're at the not infamous, but the famous cupcake place talking about crushes, which we'll get to Carrie's situation in a bit.
Yes.
But Miranda says she's crush proof at this age in life. And Carrie's like, what about your boyfriend? And I'm like, this is what I just thought in that moment. I was like, does she even fucking like Steve?
I don't know. Honestly, I was thinking the same thing.
I just don't get why they're together.
Well, okay, because like that's, I don't know. I feel like if you're with somebody, you should
like
kind of still have a crush on them. Like if you really fuck with them, like that's what a crush is. It's a consistent like form of affection for them. Like that you have, and like the fact that that Steve didn't even pop up in her head.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they don't end up together. I could tell from 2-3 episodes ago that they're definitely not going to end up together. Mostly because I'm hoping that he smartens up and leaves. Because like, I mean,
to Miranda.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just because here's the game. Like, it seems very one-sided right now, their relationship. Like he's putting in all the effort. I mean, he is coming on a bit too strong in certain areas. I totally can see that 100%. But at the same token, while he is coming on strong, he's also seems like the only one trying and like actively trying in the relationship. Yeah. And she's just kind of like coasting along. So yeah, and that whole situation or that whole conversation with her and Carrie talk about, like crushes, and she didn't even like think of him. Yeah, it's not a good look.
It just reminded me, like I read all these like Reddit "Am I the asshole?" or like advice column things for work, like for stories and stuff. And sometimes the people will describe the situation, and people in the comments or even the advice writer or whatever will often go, do you even like your partner? Like, what the fuck? Like, break up. Like, you don't like them, clearly. Like, I did, and or if someone's asking, they're my husband's great, he does this and this, except he always like belittles me and puts me down. They're like, does your partner even like you? Like, you have to examine that a little closely and be like, just because you're together, you still have to like each other.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're together doesn't mean it's working either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just be two stubborn people not willing to give it up. But same token, that's pretty bad. Yeah. But they're not gonna make it. They ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, she does come through in this episode and watches him practice.
Yes.
And I did laugh when he didn't make the shot, because it made me think of, there's a Vine that always cracks me up from this one comedian, and he goes, "This one's to end racism," and he shoots the basket and completely misses, and he just goes, ugh.
He's like, ugh.
It's so great.
I mean, here's the thing. It's not a good look for him to make all that fuss about like how good he is and she should come watch him, and then you missed the shot. Like, you got, like, bro, she got to come outside and you got to be just draining them. Like, you got to be like nothing but net, fucking splash through the.
I won't judge because I'm just not great at sports. So
no, and I'm not either.
But I also
like,
get where he hyped himself up.
When he was like,
guys do that, they're like, I'm really good
at this. How good I am.
I'm a great kisser.
You went off on her, like, nah, bro, you got to be Michael Jordan and them shit just. I'm
a great kisser. I'm great at half-court shots. Guys are fucking dumb and don't actually know how good they are or aren't at things. That's the reality here.
I mean, he looks like he played basketball, but I don't know if
maybe.
Good at
it. He seemed to know what he was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also had to watch The Bachelorette last night, and a bunch of them played basketball, and I was like, is that fouls? No, I don't know how this game works.
Hilarious. So yeah, she does eventually come outside and support them, and like they keep having these moments, but again, I don't see it lasting.
Yeah.
She's, he like, because it seems like the only time she really gives him these moments is when he's like, look, bitch, be my girlfriend. Like, he has to like get in her face and be like,
after
be my goddamn girlfriend.
Already blown up.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, okay. I'm
like, oh,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. She's low key big right now. Like, this is like Carrie like trying to get big to like be a good guy, like be a boyfriend, be like in the relationship. Like, literally, Steve is Carrie right now. He's like, this is what girlfriends do. And she's like, oh, okay. I didn't know. Like, whoa. It's true though, right? If you really think of that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, she's a little interesting comparison.
She's a little less messy than he was. He definitely did some shit that I feel like he was definitely trying to push Carrie's buttons. But
I think she's definitely less directly like malicious about it, like less intentional. Like
yeah. I think he got off on
I think he liked
making her crazy a little bit like
drama.
that. Yeah, it was like an insecure thing. Like, to him, her acting like that confirmed in him that she wanted to be with him. Like, that's the only way. Like, he was always like basically testing her to like prove that she was in it, and then he ends up leaving her anyway, or they break up anyway, which is stupid. Like, you put her through all that just to let her go. That's dumb. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now with Steve and Miranda. He ain't looking good.
Nope,
not looking good.
So let's move on to who do you want to move on to? Well, you decide.
Both these stories.
You want to do Stanford real fast?
Let's do Stanford real fast, because he kind of goes. I think we should do Stanford and Carrie's story at the same time, because their stories kind of tied
together.
Yeah. And I think Samantha's story is way juicier. So because we got some things to talk about.
Yes, we
do. So Stanford comes over and he's like, "Hey, Carrie, we're gonna go to this fucking furniture sale in fucking
downtown,
upper crest part of Manhattan." And she's like, "I'm not going." And she's like, "No, this designer's awesome, and he's also straight, so of course."
And he's cute,
So she goes. He shows her a picture.
Like, where are my shoes?
All right, I gotta go. And they get to the furniture store, and Stanford sees his crush. Which is, I guess, a well-known designer. What was it? Did you hit the guy's name?
He was, some kind of interior designer. I didn't pay close attention to what they said.
No.
He did. And Carrie sees her crush. This is the episode where we meet Aidan. Aidan is gonna be a big part of things for seasons.
Okay, great.
So
by the way,
spoiler-ish for you.
No, I'm ready for that, because I actually like this dude. Like,
a lot of people like Aidan.
He seemed cool. He seemed pretty chill.
I'm very curious.
I also like the politician too. So, by the way,
I know. I like. That's just because I like John Slattery.
I'm not mad at it.
I just love Roger Sterling so damn much. I'm curious how you feel about Aidan as things play out. I'm obviously not going to say anything.
Okay.
There is debate, without giving anything too huge away. The people always debate for Carrie between Big and Aidan, and who she belonged with.
Well, I can definitely. I mean, I know who she ends up with, but I can definitely tell you it shouldn't be Big. But we'll see how he translates through the rest of the season. By the time they actually get back together. And
there's been some re-examination of Aidan in recent years. Not necessarily negative, but just sort of.
Maybe he's not the guy either.
Maybe he wasn't the guy we thought he was.
Okay.
But I still like Aidan. I think I like Aidan as a character and as a boyfriend. But and I also like that he's very cute and tall myself. So that's
by the way, that actor is John Corbett.
Yep.
And he's aged. He's one of those actors. He's like a Paul Rudd, a fucking Brad Pitt, a goddamn George Clooney. He literally looked like how he looks in this episode is still how he looks now. And he's like almost 60, or if not in his 60s.
I think so. The most recent thing I've seen him in was to All the Boys I've Loved Before, and he was the dad of the three girls, the main character. And he still looked the same. And then
he might have a little less hair, but that's about it.
And
I don't think and I don't even mean like balding. Like his hair is just shorter. That's it.
And
then he's still good. Like, it's crazy how he's one of those people that just hasn't aged. Because I remember I watched him in I don't know if you ever watched that show, The United States of Terror.
No, but I've heard that's
fantastic show.
Really, really good. Oh yeah,
fantastic show.
He's been dating. So he's also in what do you call it? My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which a lot of people might know him from. And then he's also been dating Bo Derek since like 2002.
Oh,
and
wow.
they got married last year, finally.
Oh, wow.
They like,
damn, that's a long time. I mean, I'm not saying you have to end the marriage, but like, damn, bro, at that point, you might as well leave his marriage alone. Y'all been together since 2002. Y'all just got married. God damn.
And sometimes it's worth it for the tax write-offs.
That's clearly what that was about. Like somebody was about to get sent to another country or something, bro.
So yes, we meet Aidan, furniture design Aidan, and his dog Pete the dog, who
immediately humps Carrie. Immediately.
Sir, control your hound.
Yeah, it's like one thing for a dog to come up and be a little friendly. Like that dog came and jumped on her and was like humping her. It's like, all right, bro, you gotta teach your dog a little discipline, bro. You can't just have him humping. I mean, he tried to play it off with he only does it to the pretty girls, but that's also like not cute either, because
that's gross.
It's a little bit problematic. I'm not gonna it's a little bit problematic.
Because sorry, what if you say that to every girl? Does a dog hump everybody? Train your dog.
Yeah, bro. Don't let your dog hump random legs, bro.
Yeah. Stupid. Anyway, so yes, Aidan.
So they flirt a little bit. She buys an expensive ass chair from him. That's like with her fake discount.
Her fake designer discount. Yeah. He kicks off a little more because
he kicked off like $1,000 because she looked actually $1,300 because when she looked over at the tag, it said $3,800, and then he showed her $2,500. So he knocked off $1,300.
He wants that bad, or it's a shitty chair. Just kidding.
Listen, I don't know. I mean, I feel like either way he could have asked her out, because I don't know if knocking $1,300 off my profit is worth anybody just to go on a date.
Sorry. What if it's that good, as they say?
I mean, nah, bro. Because you need that $1,300 to pay for that good, and as time goes on, if the date works out. So I'm just saying, could have charged her full price, bro. I mean, you're paying, and also too, like if you think about it too, he asked her out, so technically he's got to pay for the date. So you just lost $1,300, bro. You needed that $1,300 to take her out.
And they go on like a Mecca date at one point. It's like a whole day.
Yeah.
Because they hit it off, and he's gonna deliver the chair. But then let's see, they are, they go on a date and are sitting on her porch, and then they go in for the kiss, and he's like, "Oh, do you smoke?" No, sorry. Before that, she pulls out the cigarette and is gonna light up, lights it a little.
Yeah, she hits it once, and then
he's like, "Look, I just can't date a smoker. It's like a total deal breaker for me."
Right.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, I barely smoke." And as we recall from the last episode, that girl was chain smoking in a freaking indoor ice rink. Like,
yes, she was. Yes, she
loves to smoke.
Yeah, she does.
That's her whole
to the point where she's literally contemplating like whether or not to date this guy because she would have to sacrifice. Yeah. And you know what though? I will say this, because so later after their first date with her and Aidan, like she goes and has brunch with the girls again, and they're all in agreement that like she should quit smoking.
Yeah, they're like, absolutely. They're like, no, it's not part of your personality. You should fucking quit smoking. It's gross.
Yeah.
We hate it. We've always hated it. We were just being nice, but now like we've kind of got an opportunity to tell you to fucking quit smoking.
They low-key gave her an intervention in that.
Yeah,
that brunch. Really did. She didn't even know she was getting one, but
she was like,
it was like an impromptu. Let me tell you about your life real quick.
Yeah.
Which here's the thing. I agree with them, but I also disagree with them. I agree that she should quit because it's bad for you. Like you can't. There's no argument to be made that it's good for you. Sorry.
But it takes the fucking edge off. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you only think it takes the edge off because the edge came from the fact that you smoked. Yeah, the edge came from the fact that you smoked, and your body thinks it needs that now. So that's where the edge comes from. And then you smoke it, and then your body's like, "Oh, okay, relax." But like, no, that's where it came from. Trust me, I'm a former smoker. I know these things.
Oh, are you? I was gonna say.
Yes, I am. I'm a former smoker. Yes, from the age of 19 to about 26, 27, I was a daily smoker.
Wow.
And I went from smoking only when I drank to like no desire for it at all.
That's good. Yeah. I am the child of a lifelong smoker. So both my parents smoke. My dad fucking loves smoking.
Yeah.
He, I think, is just now on e-cigarettes or vapes. I don't think he's like completely quit. but my dude chain smoked.
Yeah.
He loves smoking. He started from a real young age. My mom smoked for a long time. And then what got her to quit was, among other things, one, she didn't know she was pregnant with my brother for a little bit, so she accidentally smoked with him for a bit. He's fine.
Yeah,
No judgment. You know.
Fine.
He was born in 1980. But yeah,
babies can survive through the 50s. They can survive through the 80s.
But she knew it. She was like, "Oh shit, I gotta quit." And what worked for her was hypnosis, actually.
Interesting.
And now she took my dad. My dad is a big skeptic, though, and wasn't gonna buy into it. Like he, so even though he like went in and did it, he was like, this is not gonna, he wasn't in the mindset to do it.
So it didn't work. Yeah.
And then my brother smoked for a big chunk of his life, kind of up until having my niece and nephew, his kids. Did he finally stop smoking entirely? And I don't know. He was on the nicotine gum for a really long time. I don't know if he still is, but I do know he's not smoking. But yep. So there you go. And then I don't know about you, but a lot of people in my neighborhood smoked. My next door neighbors, mom smoked. Neighbors across the streets, parents and grandparents smoked. A lot of smokers.
They're the only smokers in my family that I know of was like two of my uncles, and I think they both have since then quit. My grandmother, she smoked like a motherfucker. Yeah. And then my dad actually smoked too, which was funny because when I started smoking, he was like, he had quit a few years like after I had started, and he was giving me lectures about why it's bad. I was like, I literally watched you grow. Like, if anything, you're the reason I started smoking because I watched you do it. Like, and he wasn't it. I mean, it probably played some influence, I'm sure, like subconsciously, but like not directly. But like, yeah, Dad, you can't sit there and talk that shit about smoking when you like. I literally. Because I remember when I was a kid, actually, he used to get mad at me for riding in the car with him because every time he tried to light up a cigarette, I tell him to throw it out, and I would like be so obnoxious to the point where he would have to throw it out. And he constantly reminded me of that as I was like me taking a cigarette.
Yeah, no, it's so my dad wasn't really supposed to smoke in the house, so he would often like kind of either smoke on our porch, or if it was cold because it's Michigan winters, kind of stand at our back door and like blow smoke out of the door. But every once in a while he'd sneak a few in the basement. Or the most notorious incident is I was like homesick and my mom was out, and it was the middle of winter, so he smoked in the house, but then turned on the ceiling fan that we like never turn on, and opened all the doors and windows to air it out. But mom came home in the middle of that and was like, "What the ever loving fuck are you doing?
Never smoke in a house, bro.
Sick kid, and you opened all the fucking doors and windows in the middle of like January.
No, that doesn't work.
Don't ever fucking do that again." No. I mean, that's not why they divorced, but that didn't help.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there was a
awkward.
A key fact.
Carrie was about that. She'd smoke with a baby in the house. Let's be real.
She's about that life because like she literally can't handle.
She really truly was like gonna not date this guy because she wanted to smoke. So like they go on like another date, and it like lasts all day, and it's really cute and fun. But like she's like also going the cold turkey, having crazy cravings.
Yeah, which you do. You do have. You do have cravings.
But then it's so bad that she has an emergency cigarette in her purse and
goes
outside.
You're not ready. If the fact that you brought an emergency cigarette means you weren't ready to quit. Like she wasn't ready to give it up. Like no matter like what her friend said to her or whatever, she wasn't ready, because that's every smoker's logic. Like even me when I was like first starting to quit, it's like, all right, I won't buy cigarettes, but I always carried a lighter on me because at some point I would ask somebody for a cigarette and I would be able to light it. So yeah, smokers know what they're doing. We try to rationalize the shit. It's an addiction. Yeah, so it is, and she clearly has it pretty bad because she's like trying to rationalize, like, oh, I can not date anybody. I can be single forever. Yeah, but I'll have my thing. I'll have my cigarettes. Like
it's part of who I am.
Yeah, it's part of who I am. Like all that logic is very much logic of somebody who is an addict. By the way,
she drops that cigarette in the gutter and still picks it up and lights it.
Addict.
Let
me tell you something.
Addict shit.
Done that before. Matter of fact, I've been so drunk and wanted a cigarette so badly. I saw like a smush cigarette on the ground. That's been stepped on. Pick that bitch up, lit it up, smoke that bitch.
Christopher, no.
Yes, that is addiction for your ass right there. That is addiction, fam.
Bad.
And that's the funny thing is like, I would say this though, they didn't accurately portray because it doesn't happen the first day. Most people's the first and second day, you're not irritable or nothing. Like you can pretty much get through it. It's that third day when your body truly is starting to like detox from the nicotine. That's when you start getting cravings, and that's when you start getting irritable, and that's when you like you shouldn't be around anybody. It's that third and the fourth day is the days, and then after like a week or so, you don't really feel it that much anymore. And that depends on like how much water and shit you drink, and how much you're around it. Because like it didn't help that when they were out on the date, like motherfuckers was smoking around the street. She was like getting a whiff of it. Like that doesn't help at all. Yeah. When you really want one.
But she quits. She says it's sort of.
She says she quits. We'll know. We don't know.
We don't know yet, but she does slap on the nicotine patch at the end of the episode.
Does slap on the patch.
Which is good. A good start.
Yes.
Although, what was I watching? There was something where people like, there was a joke around this area because there was such a big push to get people to quit smoking. Of like someone smoked while having the nicotine patch on.
Some people do that shit.
Like, that intense.
It's crazy. Yeah, I when I was in the Marines, there used to be people that would dip and smoke cigarettes.
Oh my god!
At the same time, I tried it once. It's a crazy buzz. I don't recommend it for anybody, even if you love tobacco products and nicotine. Like, it's too much. It's way too intense. It makes you. It's so intense that it makes you nauseous. Just if there's anybody who wants to try that shit.
No, thank you.
Yeah. so Stanford goes
though
on a date with the other designer guy.
Yeah.
Who he finds out collects porcelain dolls.
Yeah. And they're not just like out on display, they're all piled on his bed.
Yeah.
And
which clearly he does every time he sleeps. Like that means he wakes up, makes his bed up,
puts all those dolls
back on the bed in the same order.
Yeah, because they're gonna like hook up, but he's like, here, help me clear the bed. And like Stanford's like, oh, okay, and like starts moving. The guy's like, no, don't put that doll there. She goes on the table.
To be fair, I mean, I don't collect anything, but I feel like if you're a collector of rare porcelain dolls, why would you keep them on the bed?
I don't know.
I feel like they should be in a case somewhere,
or like up on some shelving or something.
Up on some shelves somewhere to where they won't get like they're secure and they're not going to get like knocked down. That doesn't make any sense to me, especially because like clearly he cares about these dolls very much. Like they have to go in specific areas, and he's like fucking wiping them down with claws and shit that. He damn near was about to put on gloves just to handle the goddamn dolls. Like clearly you care, so I don't understand why you would have them on display like that on your bed, especially that's the place where you sleep and or I'm assuming occasionally have sex.
Yeah.
So I feel like porcelain dolls on your bed is not the best. In that
one of my favorite cuts too in this episode is when after they all the girls tell Carrie to quit smoking, and then the next shot is like her and Stanford lighting up cigarette, like chain smoking in Carrie's apartment, getting drunk, and she's like, why do I have to quit cigarettes? Who fucking cares? And he's like, why do I have to have sex with a guy who loves dolls so damn much? Like, and then they both kind of agree to give their situations another shot.
Right.
And Stanford's is going well until he throws himself at the guy, and the guy's kind of into it, but then they knock a doll off the bed and she breaks and it's over.
Yeah. But a quick question though.
Yeah.
Actually, there's two questions. Because we're talking about both of their situations. One, is smoking a deal breaker for you?
Generally, yeah, but it's not like, I think because I grew up with like smokers, I don't totally like rule it out, but it's not something where I'd be like, man, I hope I date a smoker. Like I'd really rather not.
Right.
You know, like I was texting a bunch with a guy and I never quite went anywhere, but he was a smoker and like had a cigarette in his like profile picture, and I was kind of like, well, like how intense is smoke? Like maybe we'll see how it goes, because I don't like the smell of cigarettes. There was a while where like I didn't mind it, but now now frankly I think because so few people smoke, I'm not around it. I haven't been really around it for I don't know how many years. I feel like that the smell, like when I do smell it, I'm like, oh, that's fucking rank. I don't want to be anywhere near that. That stinks. Yuck.
Honestly, I feel like for me, I think LA changed my mindset on smoking big time. Because like in Texas, you see smokers all over the place. But here in LA, you don't see it that much. I mean, like, yes, if you're at a bar, you'll see like the occasional person, but you don't see it that much.
Everybody's just vaping now.
Yeah, it's either vaping or like
or they just don't
straight up weed or don't smoke at all. Like, but in Texas, like, if you were at a bar, you'd see like 20 people go outside for cigarettes.
Did there used to be smoking in non-smoking sections in restaurants when you were a kid?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I gave myself away as like a total rube, but like newbie, because I went somewhere, it's like not somewhere one time within the first like year or so of me living here. I went to a restaurant with someone and I automatically said, I was like, oh, non-smoking. And the hostess looked at me weird. My friend looked at me weird. She's like, there's no smoking in restaurants here. And I was like, oh, right.
No, the only places where you see smoking still allowed is like some like areas inside airports, depending on what airport you're at and the weather outside, and then bars. That's
I thought a lot of like New York and I know LA bars, they thought they banned smoking inside.
I didn't see any when I was in New York. I definitely didn't see anybody smoking inside of a bar at all. So I mean, I'm sure that's probably gone, but I feel like most places that still allow smoking indoors are usually like bars and/or sometimes comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I was laughing. I actually was at the airport with my dad one time and he had just kind of switched over to the e-cigarettes and they looked, especially at that time, I think they've kind of changed it, but they looked like a real cigarette, like with the fake filter tip and everything.
Yeah.
And he started like smoking it in the airport. I was like, oh, my God, he's just gone insane. Like he stopped giving a fuck and is just lighting up in the middle of the airport. He just no fucks. Tom hit 50 and he was like, fuck it. But turned out,
know.
So I stared at him for a hot minute, then I realized it was his little e-cig. I was like, oh, he's not insane. Okay. Close one.
Some people don't give a fuck. Some people really have to be told like you can't smoke here and they're like, what do you mean?
He's generally quite rule abiding, so that's why I was like, was he absolute madman over here? And it turned out he's totally
just smoking an
e-cig.
Okay, so
is smoking a deal breaker for you?
I think eventually it can be.
Yeah, same thing. Like I think if I like started dating someone, I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, we can't possibly date because he smoked. But the longer we got into it, I'd be like, I don't know.
After I would say probably like 6 months, give or take, if I really like this person, like because I mean also too like you don't realize how bad you smell when you smoke cigarettes until after you stop smoking cigarettes, and then like you're around somebody that smells like cigarettes, and you're like, oh, that's what I used to smell like. Holy shit! Like it's, and shouts out to any woman that ever kissed me while I smoked. Like you're fucking troopers, because I've kissed people like now that I haven't smoked in a long time, I've kissed people that have. Literally mouth tastes like an ashtray. It's not so I say like 6 months at best I could handle it. Then after that, like, look, you gotta like not do it around me or give it up or we gotta be done. Yeah.
And what was the other thing you were gonna ask?
Oh, the second question. Collection of dolls, is that a deal breaker?
An adult man with that many porcelain dolls?
Yeah.
It's a little strange. Now I'm not opposed to collectibles at all, generally. Yeah. I think that many porcelain dolls is a little weird. Oh my God. One time I actually going to my friend's wedding. We were staying at like her sister-in-law's place. And I had a long travel day and we got there like late at night. And right as we're going up to like the rooms, like, oh, by the way, so-and-so has like a ton of dolls in that room. So, good night. I went, what? And I was like so tired and I flicked on the lights. Fucking wall to wall. And I was like, why did you do this to me? And it's just uneasy because they're all on a shelves above you.
Yeah, I did that one time. I can't even remember where I was, but I had to stay at somebody's place one night after a show, and they had a bunch of dolls in their room, and I could not sleep for the life of me. Like, I think it's, obviously I've watched too many horror movies or some shit. Like,
too many Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes.
Yeah, I was just like, and they weren't on like the bed or nothing like that. They were definitely up on shelves and for protective purposes, like a responsible collector would do.
Correct.
But still, like, here's the thing, though. Not only were they surrounding the bed, but they were also facing the bed.
Yes,
so,
they're
like,
facing
the whole
the bed.
night.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at doll eyes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna sleep.
But I somehow think it would be worse if they were facing the wall, and I can't put my finger on why it'd be all worse if they were all turned away.
Oh hell yeah, that'd be a lot worse.
That's way worse.
That was 10 times worse. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that would be way scary.
So we were like wrapping up, and I was like, if you guys come in and I'm not there, but you see a doll that looks a lot like me, fucking do something about it, okay?
Yeah,
I was like, I've
been trapped.
I've read the Goosebumps books. I've seen the Are You Afraid of the Darks. I've seen the other movies. I know what happens in these situations.
Right. Yeah,
I need you to take some action.
There's no reason there should be a doll that looks like me. If you see a doll that looks like me, you pick that motherfucker up. You see get it out of the house.
A chubby doll with glasses, blue eyes, and brown hair. You fucking do something about it in there. You don't just leave me in there.
Yeah, don't leave me
screaming into the void because I've become a doll against my will.
Exactly. I don't know. For me, I feel like, I don't know, man. I don't think dolls itself is the deal breaker, but how he was reacting about the dolls, that might be a deal breaker. Mm-hmm. That might be a deal breaker for me because, like, I'm cool. I'm like you, like collections and shit like that. That's great. Like, cool. That's what you do. That's part of your personality. I'm gonna like you, or that's who you are. So if I like you, then I like you. But I don't know about how he was acting with the dolls. Like, it seemed like he would definitely pick the dolls over.
And he did. He
did. Yeah.
I mean, it was an accident. What happened? Sure. It's not like Stanford went in there and was like, "I will smash all your dolls."
Right. Right. So. But he took it that way. He took it as if he fucking did it on purpose. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. Sweet. So that's
we've met Aidan. So that's a big step forward in the series.
Big step. All right.
Now we're on to
my girl Samantha. This is I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
But I'm also like upset for her.
A lot. It's very, how do you do, fellow Black people?
Yeah. That's so it's like because like Samantha's so cool and like it's okay. So basically they're at a restaurant of a friend who's just started this like fusion soul food trendy food restaurant fusion type thing. And while they're there, their friend introduces them to her brother, who is a music exec for, they said their company, but
Tommy Boy Records?
Tommy Boy Records, yeah.
Is that a real company?
I think that's supposed to be like a play on Bad Boy Records.
Oh, okay.
Which is PJ.
How do you do, fellow teens?
Yeah.
You're hip.
I don't think Tommy Boy, maybe Tommy Boy
Was it Tommy Boy Records?
I feel like
I didn't write it down when they said it.
Yeah, it might have been. Either way.
We forgot to mention the restaurant / chef and her brother are Black.
Yes,
it's a big thing.
Yes.
And also Carrie describes the food as Martha Stewart meets Puff Daddy,
which is hilarious because now Martha Stewart hangs out with fucking Snoop Dogg.
I was
like, they don't even know what they like predicted in the future. Because
I love their like, I know it's mostly for camera, but I love their on-camera friendship. I think it's great. They're adorable together.
Yes, absolutely.
I like how chill. I like that they're just really chill with each other and just hang out and like cook shit on TV together. It's great. Dude,
what better than a world famous pothead and a world famous like chef and designer getting together and being friends? That's a match in heaven. Like the fact that they haven't gotten married yet is insane. Like, they would be so happy. They get high. She cook them something. Boom, match made in heaven. Oh man. So yes, they are Black, and the brother comes over, and of course Samantha locks in immediately because he's a good-looking guy.
Good-looking dude.
Real
tall
suave,
and handsome.
Handsome. And she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna hit that."
Yep.
And she does. They got a date, and she hits.
But we forgot to say that after they're introduced, she says, "I want to get me a piece of that."
Yeah. To which Charlotte says, "You can't talk like
that." And it's way awkward because she calls it Black talk.
Right. say black talk. I was like, first of all, actually no, but here's the thing. It wasn't offensive until she said African American talk. That's when it was offensive. Because it's like,
yeah,
that's because like here's the thing: the whole like black and identity of black and African American has been debunked in the sense of there is a difference. Like, yes, we are like black people consider themselves like of African descent, but like being a black person and being African American is two different things. Because like somebody from like Liberia and moves to America, they're African American, but somebody who was born here, raised here, has no like real connection to that language or that culture. They're black. There is a difference.
And they're just
American. Yeah, pretty much.
Or just American.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, you could even go as far as say a black American. Yeah, because that's what technically I would say that'd be like the most accurate thing if you're describing somebody who was like born and raised in America. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's say like half Nigerian, and then maybe you know what I'm saying. Now we're like grasping at straws, but for the most part, if you're a black person raised in America, you probably identify as black and not African American, even though that's what's on the fucking
forms
and goddamn, fucking applications and shit. Yeah. But Charlotte was hilarious. She was super white.
Because Samantha's like, don't be like liberal panic guilt about it. Yeah. But then what do you call it? Charlotte, let's see. And she says it's rude and politically incorrect to talk that way. Yeah. And does she just mean like does she mean like Samantha is like appropriating the language? Or is she also maybe like, is it not appropriate to talk that way?
No, I think I think it was because of how she said, "I'm gonna give me a piece of that." Yeah. So I guess she took that as like her trying to be like using like
appropriating,
and saying like that. But I mean, I don't know if you could really say that because I feel like I'm gonna give me a piece of that is something Samantha has always said. Maybe not in those direct words, but she said some
variation of
it at some point. So it's like, is she appropriating or is she just being fucking Samantha? Because I feel like that's something that's why when Charlotte was saying it to her, I was even confused. I was like, what did she? I had to like rewind it and see what she said. And I was like, she didn't say it. I thought she like said something and maybe I just missed it, but all she said was, I want to give me a piece of that.
Yeah.
That's not
I think, at one point it might have been earlier in culture, but I mean, white culture does tend to just take everything we like about black culture and say, we're going to do this now. And black culture says, okay, well, cool, we'll all do it then. And then white culture says, no, when we do it, we're hip and fun. When you do it, it's low class and bad, and we will shame you and punish you for it. But we would like the thing. Can we keep taking it from you? And black culture keeps going, well, I mean, yes and no, we don't mind that you also enjoy it, but credit where credit is due.
Yeah, it's like, can we also share with you since it was ours first?
Punishing us for doing it, the thing you said you liked?
I know. It's so crazy because like, especially when like you would think, because like just the fact that like in the last year or two, like natural hairstyles just became okay. Like
there's a law to help
walking around with
protect
like
people.
weaves and shit like that for forever. Like that was black girl shit, and now now white women are doing it, it's okay. Like a white woman can walk in with like extensions down to her fucking ankles, but if a black girl did it, it's ratchet and ghetto. It's like they both.
Natural hairstyles are unprofessional. No, they're not.
No, they're not. Yeah, go to Africa and say that. When you see all the natural hairstyles, I know the people who work in professional businesses.
I don't think is it a national-wide law, or it's in a lot of states the Crown Act to like prevent discrimination.
I want to say it's national.
Good, because there's
became national.
I think is it everywhere or is it like just in schools? Because it was it's been a huge problem.
It's schools. It's in businesses. Like workplaces. They can't discriminate due to the things of that nature. Yeah, that doesn't mean that people aren't going to find a loophole.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it is technically illegal. That's a discriminatory behavior. If you were to say that shit, like say, "Oh, your hair is inappropriate," like,
yeah.
Stop it.
But then we'll go ahead and put models in box braid type hairstyles.
Right.
White models, I should say. White models in that the box braids or Afro-like styles or things like that. And they'll be like, wow, amazing, so fashion, so trendy, so forward. And meanwhile, every Black woman's like, what the fuck? I've been doing that my whole fucking life, and I get punished for it.
That designer not too long ago, that designer that got in trouble because she put out like bonnets out of nowhere. It's like designer bonnets, and Black people were like, "Oh, bitch, we've been."
I didn't hear about that. Oh,
yeah, there was some designer. I think it was like last year or earlier this year. She like put out a line of bonnets, and like everybody came for her because they were like, "Oh, that's Black shit. Like, how you gonna put out bonnets?" And like, and she was charging like, it's like, you get a bonnet, like a decent bonnet for like $15-$20. She was charging I'm 50 and above for like these designer bonnets. And like, bitch, first of all,
are they any good? Because what
I don't know.
I don't know what goes.
I know that it didn't. I'll be honest. I know that nobody's that shit ain't happening no more because everybody came for her ass before. Like, right. She put that shit out on the website. Every Black woman was like, bitch, not today.
so insane. So they have that discussion. Let's see, what is Samantha says, I don't see color, I see conquests. Respectable.
Yes. I could see her being a little bit chastised for that,
right? Because it does kind of it's cool that you like don't focus on that, but you also can't ignore the realities of his life as a Black man,
which she kind of did, and which is why she was a little bit taken back when so they go out. I was like, let's get
we'll get back into the plot of it.
So essentially, so that she meets the brother, and they hit it off, and so she goes on a date with him, and they have a great time. He takes her to like one of the blackest clubs I've ever seen. Like it was like when they showed the overview shot of the club, it was like 3 white people in that bitch. It was like one random white dude, Samantha, and I think one of the bartenders was white. It was all pepper in this fucking club.
And for the record, this is as Black as the show will ever get.
I know. Oh, I know.
This is as Black as it gets.
Oh, I bet. Show. Yeah, they have it at. This is Did
you know there's Black people in New York? Sex and the City sure didn't.
but you know what though? Still more Black people in this show than there's ever been in Friends. That's all I'm gonna say.
Very true.
That's all I'm going to say. And the two in this show had way more speaking lines than most of the other Black people in Friends did. It was like, I think 2 Black characters in Friends. So
there was Aisha Tyler and
Gabrielle Union.
When the hell was Gabrielle Union on?
Remember the episode when it was like her, she like just moved in the building where like Monica and Chandler live, and like Ross ran into her and Joey ran into her, and they both asked her out, and like they were like fighting on who gets to date her.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's ringing some.
Come on, white girl. How do you not know that and I know that?
I don't know. I'm not as obsessed with Friends. I watched the other whitest show ever, Gilmore Girls. Thank you very much.
That's peak. I didn't get that far. I couldn't handle that much whiteness. That's too much.
I'm sorry. I know people will try to be like, oh, the Michelle, the like hotel, the guy who manages the inn or whatever, is a Black guy, and then Rory's best friend is Korean American, but it's still the whitest fucking show that's ever existed.
It might be. Yeah, it might be.
By the way, do you watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel at all?
No, I don't. I haven't watched it yet.
Like it.
Is it another super white episode show?
Well, it's white. It does focus on like the Jewish community and population stuff because she's like a Jewish comedian.
Right.
But she doesn't perform at the Apollo.
All right, now I gotta watch the show. That's all you need to tell me. Now I'm into it because I just want to see that episode. If I don't see anything else, I want to see that
season
episode.
3. It's season 3. But anywho, yes.
So yes, her and the brother go out on a date. They hit it off, and
they have sex. It's actually very sweet because they're cuddling in bed, and he's saying like he sees her softer, sweeter side, which I
agree with. She does have a very tough exterior, but deep down, because she's the best friend. I mean, we've said this a million times. So she's the best friend. You have to have a little sweetness in you for you to be that good of a friend. So he nailed it on the head. She's like tough exterior, but definitely sweet.
And it's nice for someone to really acknowledge that about her.
Absolutely. I think. Absolutely. It was good for us too to like see somebody within the show acknowledge that instead of us as the audience only acknowledging it. You know what I mean? Because like, I do think Samantha's true personality gets overlooked by like her.
She has so much sex,
vivaciousness,
so
but it's
sexy.
like, it's like she's still a person, bro. Like she's still a vulnerable person that and cares about people. She's just tough. That's all it is. But that doesn't mean she isn't, a human being. She's not a robot.
And then she's also obsessed with his what do you call it?
His earrings.
His earrings, which Carrie
earrings.
even brings up, like, oh, you gotta love a guy who's into jewelry, and then in the bed, Samantha's like, where are your earrings from? He's like, Tiffany's, and I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Tiffany's are so fancy.
Yeah, man. Listen, if you're gonna wear earrings, might as well be good quality earrings. Absolutely. Right? A little blood diamond action, no big deal. Awkward, especially. But I mean, I guess he can wear them because he's black, so it's okay. Like it's like.
I'm not gonna walk away from that one, man.
She's like, you know what? I'm gonna let you have that. That's all you. I got
you.
No skid in this game, literally. So they go on a date. They have sex. It's a nice evening, and they decide to keep going.
Keep dating.
Dating. Yeah. And they go back to the restaurant of his sister, and he goes to say goodbye to a family member, I guess, that's at the restaurant that's leaving. And the sister sits down and basically says, I don't want you dating my brother because you're a white girl.
Yeah.
Which I get where she's coming from, but at the same token, Samantha was right. Like, your brother is a grown-ass man. He should be able to date who he wants to. And if I'm making him happy, you should be happy for him.
Yeah.
He is right there. However, I also understand as a black man where she's coming from, because black men historically dating white women hasn't yielded great results for us in society. Especially somebody like him too, who is in the music business and the rap community and shit like that. That could be not so great for his image.
He's very high profile too. Yeah,
he's high profile and shit like that. So I understand where she's coming from, but I do disagree with the way she went about it.
Yeah,
because she simply could have just came to her and been like, "Look, I'm uncomfortable with it, but if you guys like each other, we can work it out." But I just want you and explain to her why she's uncomfortable with it, not just straight up be like, "I'm uncomfortable with it. You're done. Get away from my brother." That's basically what she did. Was like, she didn't tell why. And I know that kind of goes into especially the conversation we're having now, where it's like, a lot of people are like, oh, black people don't need to explain to white people, about certain things in the culture. But it's like, in this case, you kind of do, because if you don't know, then you don't know. Like, you can do, I mean, yes, we kind of, if you know any history about America, like, you can kind of figure it out. But like, in this case, she still could have been a little bit more like receptive of where Samantha is and stuff like that. And like, plus you don't even know this woman and you just assume that she's just like every white woman, every troublesome white woman in the world. So like, you don't want her to date your brother. Like, that's not fair either. Yeah.
It's, I also feel like at this time though, too, like the conversation that we're having now about it in the past couple of years, like acknowledging like, no, black people are not responsible for educating white people about history, culture, etc. Do your own research, reading, immersion. There's movie, like, you can't pretend black pop culture doesn't exist.
Correct.
/ only take what you want from it. But I feel like at this time it really wasn't like in the open as much.
No, absolutely not. This is what, 2001, 2000. Yeah, no, we weren't having talks like we're having today about like race and shit like that. So like, I mean, it kind of would have been on the sister to be like, look, this is why, like, you should consider not dating my brother, and put out the facts. And then maybe Samantha would have been a little bit more, amenable to her request.
And like that issue of what for me with the first time I think I saw it, because I didn't obviously see this episode when it first aired. I think I was still a little too young. I saw it about 2 years later in Save the Last Dance with Julia Stiles and I forget the actor who played
Carrie Washington.
Carrie Washington, and they had that same conversation where Carrie Washington more or less overall approved and like wasn't going to try to break them up, but at the same time was still kind of frustrated by this.
She let her know. She was like, look, like, I'm glad y'all like each other, but just to understand that the neighborhood that you live in, it bothers people, and here is why it bothers people. So she and it was different. Like she was still wrong in the sense of what she said, but at the same token, she did educate Julia Stiles low key and like where she was at. Like, bitch, you in South Side of Chicago, white girl dating my black brother. Like, people will talk. You know what I'm saying?
And she pointed out that they were both kind of willfully ignoring like the overall issue. Again, not that like, oh, they can't like each other. Of course they can. But it's like.
But don't pretend that it don't come with some. And here's the thing. And as a person too, and that's why I understand like this episode, like what happens. That's why I felt bad for her but I understand. But I understand this shit because like being in Texas and shit like that, I've dated white women before, and I've definitely gotten like, you know, I literally had to date people in secret because their family wasn't okay with me, you know, me and said person being together. And I've even gotten it from my family. Like, one of the first girlfriends I ever had in high school was Filipino girl, and my parents didn't approve. You know what I'm saying? They never said it directly, but they said it to other people about it, which was whatever. But just like, man, it's a bitch, man. And that's why I understand why, you know, Samantha was so upset about it and like kind of fought back on it, because one, she's not the kind of person that backs down from anybody.
Right.
Two, you know, she actually liked the guy, so she didn't really see why they couldn't be together. Like, she can understand maybe if he explained it to her, blah blah blah. Like, she can understand where she's coming from, but I don't think that would have stopped her per se.
Yeah, and I think because Samantha is genuinely like a kind, caring person, she doesn't have like that kind of even like not understanding. Like, she's not naive, but like she just doesn't think of it the situation that way. You know, like she's like, well, I just like him, and I like what I like. It's, you know, doesn't matter. As we've kind of said in the past, her attitude, it really is the person, not the well, yes and no. She does like she likes dick size.
She does. I mean, apparently he was packing. Apparently that's because she definitely let the girls know at the.
He's confronted at the restaurant by his sister, and then they're at brunch the next day, and Samantha's complaining about the situation, and she's going to say like he has the biggest, and Charlotte goes, "Black cock, we know." He has a giant black cock. It's so funny. I love what
her say that was the best. Like,
when Charlotte flips out about shit, it's the best. Like that moment, and when she was white girl wasted at the earlier this season at the Staten Island thing, like two of my favorite Charlotte moments because they're just adorable, so wild. And then Samantha goes, "I was going to say heart, but yes, also he is lying down."
She's like, "You brought it up, but
you're the one who said big black cock, not me."
Like, I wasn't gonna talk about it, but since you brought it up, I guess you should know it's also very large.
I did laugh too, because in that scene, you know, Samantha's whole point is like, I care about him as a person, I like his personality and looks and everything like that, but to me, you know, the race, the fact that he's black is just not a big deal to me. And it's not part of things. Why should this be a deal breaker? Because the whole theme is kind of deal breakers in the episode. And then Carrie's like, like me was smoking, and I was like, no, Carrie.
Oh, they all jumped on her. They're like, no, not the same. Sorry.
To their credit,
nice try. Like, no, not the same. Don't even try that.
Thanks for playing, but no.
Thanks for playing, but you lost already. Get out.
You're out. Sorry.
Yes. So eventually, Samantha and the brother end up at a club, and the sister is there, and she gets in her face, and they almost go to blows because, you know, the sister is very adamant about her not dating the brother, to which of course the brother takes her side, and that becomes kind of the deal breaker for Samantha. But not even necessarily that he took her side, is that like he didn't know how to stand up for himself. That's what was really the deal breaker, because like clearly his sister and him, like, you know, from what he explained, like, you know, when their father died, she was the one that like had his back, and he's had her back in return. So like, yes, of course she's gonna choose family over the person that he's dating. She wasn't that's not what she's getting him on. But like the fact that he clearly likes her and won't say anything because he was like, "Oh, you insulted her cooking." What the fuck does that have to do with this situation, sir? Like, your sister just told us that we can't be together. Like, fuck her cooking. Like.
But this scene is also often pointed to as like one of the cringier moments of just like, it has not aged well. It's so awkward because it's played so kind of weird. You know, the sister confronts Samantha and says, you'll never understand, it's a Black thing.
Yes.
And Samantha almost backs down, and then turns around and says, no one tells me who I'm gonna fuck. And Adina, I did like that Adina's like, I don't care how many J-Lo or Jennifer Lopez looking dresses you wear, you're never gonna fit in.
I mean, to be fair, again, they were at another club that was mostly Black and maybe a few Latino, but I definitely didn't see any other white people in there other than Samantha. So, but I don't agree with that statement. I don't think that she could never fit in. I think
I think she could, because Samantha's cool.
Yeah,
generally, I think I will say Samantha the character is cool,
right?
But the way they made her play, the way she said certain lines, like "I break me off a piece of that" or whatever, she
did say whack at the
she said whack, and and it's played really clunky and dorky, I think, to try to highlight the difference in culture, because I think generally Samantha the character would say things a little smoother than that and wouldn't be like, well, that was whack, am I right? You know, like, look, I don't know.
I also feel like Samantha is one of those kind of people, because like she's diversifying her dating pool, she would kind of like start molding a little bit,
picking up some things.
I mean, you can't help it either way. Like Black culture is a little bit addictive, or a little bit like, it's like very impressionable. Like you kind of can't help but like take on some of the mannerisms or like some of the slang and things of that nature. So I think if she would have kept dating him, like stuff like that would have kept happening anyway. Like, and
it's you're totally right, because there are so many, I think, phrases and ways we say things now that are only like 20 some odd years old, or and so on and so forth, just because it's gone back through time. People didn't used to, I feel like white people didn't used to say shout out to this, shout out to that.
No, but it's definitely
that's just one of like a billion examples,
right?
Absolutely. But where it's also super clunky and weird is the sister says no one wants your little white pussy, and Samantha says, well, you have a big Black ass, and then she says, and your okra wasn't all that either, and it's like, what? It's the way she says all that where it tips into like kind of ugly, like parody.
But I think it was, to be fair, it was like a way of connecting her to the insult, because she'd have been like, oh, your okra's not that good anyway, like that'd have been like super white girl, but she's like, it ain't all that. It's like, so I want you to know that I'm saying this from the heart, like that was like, this is from my real soul, like your okra is trash, bitch, get out of here.
And then Adina pulls her hair and they start fighting, which again, this episode has been called out for like basically portraying the sister as just like angry Black woman stereotype. Don't date my brother, hair pulling in a club. Like, it's not a great approach to an issue worth exploring, certainly.
Well, it was
in media and at this time, but
that scene, yes, but it also kind of her character was portrayed, I think, in a very fair way, if you follow me. And the reason why I say this is because, like, we got to see two sides of the character, right?
It's true.
At the restaurant and shit like that, she's very pleasant, professional, elegant, even. But then when it came to outside the restaurant and it came to her family, she got a little ignorant, as we say in the community. Not ignorant, ignorant. There's a difference. Which is actually kind of great, because you usually don't get to see two sides of Black characters, especially at this time in shows. It's either they just like, super white presenting, or they're very ghetto presenting. And we got to see a contrast of both in one episode, which is actually kind of admirable for the time period, if you follow.
No, that's an argument I've not heard regarding this episode. And to be fair, I feel like a lot of the media like reevaluation of the show has still been through a very like maybe a little white guilty lens of how we're looking at things, and a certain lack of understanding of the culture still to this point. Like everyone's trying to do better and do their best, but like there's still blinders on, so to speak, for like how things are being viewed and reviewed, because Also, I think that so then they get to the point where we're saying that he won't stand up to his sister. I think they just really wanted to make somebody say big black pussy, like on the thing, because Adina had called Samantha, her little white pussy, and then the narration is like, Samantha knew it wasn't her little white pussy that wasn't going to make the relationship work. It was the big black pussy who wouldn't stand up to his sister. I think they just really wanted to make Charlotte say big black cock, and they wanted somebody to say big black pussy. That's the most I've said.
You might be right.
In like
you might be
5-minute streak.
To be fair, this episode was worth watching just to hear you explain. I can feel that you were very comfortable saying it, and it brought me joy.
When you hit the playback, you'll say half second of hesitation before each recitation. Yep.
But to be fair, he was kind of a pussy, bro. Because like, look, if you like, listen. At the end of the day, your sister's your sister. She's gonna be there for you, and her responsibility as your sister is to just support you no matter what, and even if she doesn't like it. So unless Samantha turned out to be like a wild, abusive girlfriend, he had no reason for you. There's no reason for you to deny yourself happiness just because you want your sister to be happy. But that's, again, like, I don't know. I've never been in that kind of relationship where I was controlled like that. So who knows? Yep. Who knows? But I just felt bad for Samantha because she finally said like she was like kind of happy again. Like, it's been a while since she's been like happy in an episode, and she was. And then like, of all the people that could have happened to, I didn't want that to happen to her. Like, I could see Charlotte that happened to her, because she would be so not like, she would be like, because at least Samantha kind of understands. Like, she probably can go home and think about it, probably understands where the sister's coming from. Charlotte would just be like, what happened? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand. We like
I'm from good breeding. I don't understand why they didn't want to date me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, she would
problematic turn of phrase in and of itself.
Facts though. Super facts. Well,
don't you kind of want to see Charlotte in that club? I do.
I honestly, I want to see this. I want to see this episode, but like, take Samantha and Charlotte and switch them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know she would. Because like, especially just to see how Samantha would have dealt with the fucking
bad kisser,
atrocious kissing guy. Like, oh man, her reaction to that would be everything.
Yeah,
everything. Oh, it'd be so good. Yeah, cool. So, well, we covered all that, so I guess we should tell the people where they can find us on the medias or socials.
Well, they can find us on the socials media.
Super old.
The day we all learned that the plural of attorney general is attorneys general was the day that joke started and died, and it won't. Yes, it's the undead.
But we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going.
I love it. But you can find us most easily on Instagram at Show Me What Podcast.
Yes.
And then that'll take you to our Twitter, our Facebook, I think our YouTube as well, which, like we said, is doing gangbusters on the one episode at least. Thanks.
Crazy. Yeah. Y'all, I don't know why y'all like that episode so much, but keep watching it.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me refresh the count while we're here. Live refresh. Okay, it's still at 393. I was like, oh man, what if it like got to 400 while we were talking? That'd be fucking cool.
That'd be great.
But it didn't, but that's okay. You'll get it there, won't you? You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Elizabeth Movies.
Yeah. And guess what? You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Mack Diddy Combs. And you can find me on TikTok at Mack Diddy Combs. That's MackDiddyCombs. I just got on TikTok like literally 3 days ago. So follow me. I need followers and I need some views.
You gotta start doing some trends, my friend.
Yeah, I gotta do some dancing and shit like that.
Do you know what a Bones Day is?
Don't want to.
Oh boy.
I don't want to. I
it's
feel like
that's a good thing.
That's a trick question if I ever heard one.
There's a pug named Noodle, and the guy started just doing this gag where he was like, every day I see if it's like a potato of a dog that just lays on this little bed, and he started, to get up in the morning, he's got to take him out to go to the bathroom, and he's like, but I'm always curious if the dog is basically just going to lay there like a slug or actually sit up. So it's bones versus no bones. And then people started turning it into like basically a horoscope thing. And now it's like, people on Twitter are like, oh, today was rough. Makes sense though, it was a no bones day, so
Got it. All right. Interesting. I got to get on the trends. Like I said, I just got on TikTok. Yeah. I'm only 3 days in. I haven't found my voice yet, so we'll figure it out.
It's okay.
We'll figure it out.
I will say also, I like doing some of the trends, but how it becomes a trend, incomprehensible. No one knows.
No one knows.
Doesn't make sense.
I feel like TikTok starts their trends basically. I feel like not people. I think it's TikTok. They're just like, oh, let's put this hashtag out.
Yeah. Or this like sound. It's all about like like using sounds and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I'm sorry if you. I should have cut it out of the last episode. I'm gonna leave it here because this is just funny that I've given like too many TED Talks now on TikTok. Say that 5 times fast.
Listen, people need it. There's our friends out there on TikTok, and you know what? Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll start our show me what I've been missing TikTok page. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for that, people. You know what I mean? Also be sure to go to Arlo Australia on Instagram, ARLO Australia, and get yourself some candles. I got one here that doesn't have a label.
You got a big one.
You got the big joint. I don't even know what this is, but it's one of the best candles I've ever had.
Looks pink.
Yes. She has seasonal scents, so look out for that on some fall scents. Also, if you use our promo code Show Me Miss on Etsy or Instagram, you'll get 10% off your purchases. So be sure to visit that. Arlo Australia, ARLO Australia, _ Australia on Instagram, and ARLO Australia /Etsy on Etsy. So be sure to go there. Show Me Miss, get you some lead-free wicks, some soy wax, organically sourced, beautiful smelling Australian scented candles.
The good shit, as they say.
Good shit. Goes right up in here. Not drugs, but the smell.
See, I feel like we didn't used to say good shit, and then that came into the thing.
I was about to say, like, it would have happened. It would have happened. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Yes, follow us on Instagram. Follow us individually on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Watch our videos. Like them shits.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, share.
All
tell
that
your friends.
Shit. Tell your friends. Tell your friend to tell a friend, and tell that friend to tell a friend. All right. Peace out, guys. See you on the next episode. Happy Halloween, and we'll see you again soon.
Alrighty.
Boom.